Here at Helmuth Ford, we are a small town dealership with no hassle and no pressure.
Halloween night.
Here at Helmuth Ford, we are a small town dealership with no hassle and no pressure.
Delta Fire and Rescue presents the Delta Haunted House at 109 North Center Street in Delta. Admission is just $10 per person. The Delta Haunted House is open each Friday and Saturday throughout October and on Halloween night from 8 to 10 p.m. Food and drinks will be available for purchase, and now accepting cash and most major credit cards. It's the Delta Fire and Rescue Delta Haunted House, Fridays and Saturdays in October and on Halloween night. Watch Pekin Panther football live right here this fall on Steve Shetler Media, Facebook, and YouTube with live announcers and an updated scoreboard, plus an area scoreboard to keep you updated on other schools of interest. It's Pekin Panther football live right here on Steve Shetler Media starting Friday, August 30th. We are live from the Iowa Music Showcase at Barnwired in Sigourney, Iowa. How we all doing today, people? Good to hear. We are watching out for dive-bombing bees during this show, so if I get up and scream like a girl, you'll know why. We've got Adam Whitehead here as our guest today on the Iowa Music Showcase. We're going to talk to Adam here shortly, but of course we have Amanda Snakenberg waiting in the wings. Make some noise for Amanda. Make her feel at home. Oh! I think Neil Crott was booing you.
He was.
What's happening today, Amanda?
So much hate. Oh, I didn't wave. Yeah, sorry. So today the sandwich of the week is turkey BLT wrap, and our soup is tomato bisque. Our lunch special is ham balls with potatoes and green beans. I know you don't like green beans, but
cottage cheese. Extra
healthy. Yes, you might get extra green
Nobody
beans
likes green
today.
Beans.
Because it's the first Friday of the month. We have ham balls the first Friday of every month for our lunch special. Next week we have our soup is cracked chicken noodle soup. And I know I saw like lasagna on the schedule next week, meatloaf, some chicken baked stuff that I make at home all the time. My boys love it. So it's chicken, green beans, I know you don't like green beans, and potatoes with Italian seasoning stuff on it. It's really good. Our boys, it's Football Friday, as long as also Steve Shetler Friday, but it is Football Friday, and so the boys play in Pella tonight. So if you can't make the trip, you can always watch it online. I skipped it. I just said you can watch it online. That's all I said. I left out all names. But of course we
eat somewhere else.
Always. It's not my fault that they won't let you do that. It is not my fault. I was trying to be nice by leaving it out. Hey, it started out with booze and green bean hate. There's a lot going on here.
She's feeling the green bean hate.
So anyway, support the boys any way you can, of course. We're getting closer to the end of the season here before district play, and it'll be good. So thank you.
Well, thank you. No, thank you. Yes, of course. We do have Sigourney Keota football cover. I'm kind of freaking out about the bees. I don't know why. Yes, we do have SK football coverage here on Steve Shetler Media with great pictures and an article that Amanda sponsors. And other things. So, yeah, look for that. Pekin Football will be live here on Steve Shuttler Media, Facebook, and YouTube. We've got Adam Whitehead. Adam Whitehead, how you doing today?
Good, Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's glad to have you back here on the Iowa Music Showcase. It's been about a year since you've been on. I think it was October of last year. So, yeah, glad to have you back on. All right, so give us a one-year recap in a few minutes. Go.
Okay, so we've been playing a bunch of different shows, and one thing I wanted to get back into was the recording and releasing, different songs, people that, songs that I've written, some covers, songs that I've heard, and I thought, I need to release that song, and we released our first release in about a year called When Did I Get Old?
Yeah.
And When Did I Get Old was a song that, I heard from a fellow that had written it named Derek Dove. And Derek Dove is a phenomenal songwriter. Heard the song, picked it up. We did an acoustic version of it, sent it out on a different platform than country. It's still on country platforms, but we also released it as a multi-genre blues.
Okay.
And I think it was maybe top 100 somewhere on country, and then it went number 1 on blues.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
that was kind of on my bucket list in
Yeah.
a way, to be able to say that we had one of those. And the thing is it's more than just a chart position. After you hear the song, you might end up shedding a tear or two.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those songs that tugs at the heartstrings, and it got us going again as far as releasing and getting ourselves back out there on the the Nashville scene and all that. So a bunch of shows. We're starting to change directions, kind of to where we originally were going for. Might do some radio stuff. It's one of those careers where there's so many different branches you can go.
Sure.
And I kind of made some zigzags in there. So
yeah,
it feels good to be back in that wagon again.
Very cool. Now, of course, that song that you were just talking about, you actually performed it on my musical musings segment that got up last night. So it's kind of a shortened version.
It is.
But if you want to go back and check that out on your Facebook timeline, you can see that from Adam Whitehead. Now, did I also see you're kind of maybe stepping back from performing live so much the next few months, and you're actually going to be doing a little bit of teaching or some guitar lessons?
Yeah, I'm still going to be picking up some shows, not as many as what we were doing. We were doing 4 or 5 a week, and now I think I'm doing maybe 1 or 2 a week now, which is good. It's a good rest. I did start to give some guitar lessons, so nothing too crazy. We don't get into music theory or anything. It's most guys, when they pick up a guitar, they want to be able to learn to play it like a campfire or church or something like that, and it takes about 6 to 8 weeks, but then we get it to where they're 100% going to be able to do that. So if anybody ever wants to try to start guitar lessons, get at me. It just takes a message. We can get you started. Got one guy who's wanting to do over video too. So we're going to try that, see how that goes, and try to make it happen from there.
That should be your business name, Campfire Lessons.
I like that idea. that could happen.
Campfire guitar lessons.
Yes, absolutely.
And then for people who aren't super familiar with you, now you're an Iowa guy through and through. You've lived in Iowa, kind of around the area. Yep. Maybe give a background on where you've lived and where you're living at now, because I know you made a recent move.
I did. So I went K through 8 through Linville, Sully. Great school, great teachers, great people. Then I went to Pella Community High School. Let's see. Then obviously we were living in Pella. I went to college, Marshalltown Community College, and my daddy lived in Marshalltown from '99 to 2019. So we, I got some pretty close ties to Marshalltown. Mm-hmm. We did. I moved back to Pella for a while. Recently, we were living in Sheraton, Iowa, and then we just bought a house outside Ottumwa, just little, maybe half-mile on gravel, and hopefully that's our forever home. That's what I'm, we're planning on and making it our own, and it just kind of it worked out in our favor. God has some pretty cool ways of working things out, and that's where we're at now. So
very cool.
Yes.
And as far as Adam, your history of music, I always like hearing you tell the story of how you did music. You were about to kind of call it quits, but then you and I met.
Yeah. So, I tried to write in my 20s, but I was writing for the wrong reasons. I wanted to, be the cool guy that wrote songs and stuff like that. Well, that's absolutely no reason to get into it. Well, in my 30s again, I started writing songs over the pandemic, and I had a country music bucket list, just a bucket list, stuff that I wanted to do. And one of it was to record and release a country song. Well, I found this song that it needed some help. The demo just needed some help. And I had my eye on a producer that's, been working with, he worked with Lady Antebellum, Saving Abel, Five Finger Death Punch, and he put his own twist to it, made it kind of a rock country song. And we put it out on all platforms. It charted on iTunes for a little bit. And I thought, man, this is cool. My dad got to see it the day that it happened. And, I sent it to you at KBOE, and that was ultimately, and I'll say this for years to come, that got me my start. It did.
Yeah.
And, you put it on some good rotation there. A lot of people heard it. That helped our following quite a bit. And we ended up making a music video for it.
Yeah.
And we sent it to, CMT, the Country Network, Heartland Channel. I think you guys get all three of those. We didn't make our debut on CMT, but we did get rotation, top 20 on the Country Network, and it was on rotation for that. So yeah, I was gonna bag it. I was gonna bag it just to say we did it. But then Single Mom came out, and that was one that you gave us our first push. Put it on your rotation there, your hours rotation there, and it's it's blown up. From there it's blown up just into full-time songwriting, full-time gigging, and just trying to make whatever way that I can to the next level, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
But you were instrumental in having me have this career. So thank you. Seriously, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
You're
very welcome.
If it wasn't for you. So.
I'm glad that we've formed this relationship over the last few years as well.
Absolutely.
So, well, let's get into some music. You've got your guitar with you. What is the first song of the day?
We're gonna do "When Did I Get Old." That's the latest.
This is a
release.
brand new one.
Yes, brand new one.
Crowd's already going crazy.
It's been a fun song. When did I get old? When did everything change? I don't recognize this world. I don't remember this pain. Did time speed up? Or did I slow down? When did I get old? It's all behind me now. Used to fly so high and not fear a thing. I was 10 foot tall, everybody knew my name. But the world keeps turning, statues began to fall. Now I'm just a man who used to have it all. When did I get old? When did everything change? I don't recognize this world. I don't remember this pain. Did time speed up? Or did I slow down? When did I get old? It's all behind me now. By there ain't much left of the man I was. I'm just a rusty outline covered in dust. But it happens to the best of us all. Another one rises while another one falls. So when did I get old? When did everything change? I don't recognize this world. I don't remember this pain. Did time speed up? Or did I slow down? When did I get old? It's all behind me now. When did I get old? It's almost over now.
Adam Whitehead on the
guys.
Iowa Music Showcase. Again, we're live here at Barnwired. Of course, we're here every Friday with a different guest each week, so make sure you tune in from 11:30 to noon. Adam Whitehead is our guest, and Adam, beautiful new song from you.
Thank you.
Glad it's off to a great start for
Thank you
you.
so much.
Let's, I was talking on my morning show this morning about how we were going to take a deep dive
Yes.
into Adam Whitehead.
Yes.
So let's talk, we've talked about all the nice cheery things, but,
Yes.
we all live life. We all go through ups and downs.
Yep.
And I know you wanted to talk a little bit maybe about some stuff that maybe people don't really know about,
Yeah.
which I'm going to let you lead into this
That's good.
with our next
That's
topic.
good. So some people do, some people don't. Excuse me. I'll try to condense it up here. So, we all kind of make some bad decisions in life. It doesn't matter what age. Most of us get some of that done when we're younger. Some of us don't get it until we're older. But when I was younger, I was in my early 20s. I decided I was going to get in a little bit of trouble, and I wasn't thinking. It was we'll call it a financial crime. It was a money crime. And I ended up going to prison for 15 months. And not a lot of people know that. Some people do. If you're from Pella, obviously you probably heard it. It was on the news and stuff like that. But this is a long, I'm thinking 13, 14 years ago.
Okay.
And the thing is how do I word this? We all go through things for a reason, and if it weren't for those things, I wouldn't have my kid, I wouldn't have my daughter, I wouldn't have my wife that I have now. And the thing is yep, absolutely lessons learned. And not a lot of people will talk about their past and something like that. They want to cover it up. But the thing is owning it is one thing that it helps you grow.
Mm-hmm.
Helps you grow as a person. And that was a tough time. You lose everything. You literally lose everything. You lose friends, you lose family, you lose your homes, your cars, and that's rightfully so. You do the crime, you do the time, you gotta build yourself back up. And sometimes people do know that I got some trouble back in the day, and sometimes they'll try to hold it against you. Not just me, but other people. They'll try to hold it against you, try to bring you down. But the thing is and a lot of other people know that you're not that same person. You're not gonna go out and try to scoop people over, or get one over on them, get the extra dollar or two. And that's part of growing. We have a good system. At the same time, I feel like there needs to be more resources for guys when they get out, to get a job, to be able to hold a job, to have a place to go. And yeah, that might be a halfway house. I didn't do the halfway house thing, but halfway house is a good option. At the same time, I feel like there needs to be more options, and a lot of people still don't realize that it doesn't stop after the prison time stops. Your prison time really technically doesn't stop, because people will still hold that against you. And that's, you brought it on yourself, but at the same time there's, you can lift yourself up, you can, move on with life and show that you're a good person,
Sure.
deep down. And those lessons learned, man, like it's a tough thing to go through. And, and again, you got to own up to it, because you did the crime, do the time.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah.
No, and I was going to chime in from my point of view. Like I was in a band, like a Christian rock band here a few years ago that we actually played in some prisons around the state of Iowa,
really? Okay.
and you get to meet some of these prisons we played at multiple times, and so you kind of get to know some of these people a little bit better, and so some of them legitimately do want to change. Some of them legitimately do own up to their mistakes, and they want to change. Obviously you have your bad apples that don't want to change.
Right. Revolving door.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I mean it's a true story. So I've experienced it on the other side, but mistakes. We're young and dumb sometimes, and we have to learn. So and some of us get caught, and some of us don't.
Yeah, I understand.
A lot of people that don't.
Absolutely.
So, but appreciate your honesty and just throwing it out there. Being real.
Yeah, being real. I've been wanting to do that. Sit down and talk to you about it for quite a while.
Yeah.
And, the right time.
Yeah.
So
here we are. It's out there in the open for everybody to know.
That's right. That is right.
There we go.
Thank you.
And the crowd appreciates it.
Thank you. Let's
go ahead and jump into our next song, shall we?
This one was a request. Mr. John Wicker wanted to hear this song.
Johnny Wicker.
It's this was one that we released, I'd say about a year and a half ago, and it's called "She Was More of a Man Than You Were."
All right, Adam Whitehead on our showcase.
A split-level home should have been big enough for everyone, but you made it through it, that and dawn stuff. I done forgot the words. I even wrote this one. Hold on.
It happens.
A split-level home should have been big enough for everyone, but you made it clear you weren't into that adult and stuff. A bonfire served her well for the little she said, but you were out there telling others the same damn thing, while she's another single mother soaking up the pain in the new life she was after, turning off the Xbox and butterfly kisses after picking up Tonka tractors. She was everything she lived for. You ain't the only one they hurt. He'll grow up to know better, and she was more of a man than you were. Spending time behind stained glass can lead to more than pretty words. It brought her more of a man than you were. 10,000 hours healing from the pain in the new life she was after. Daddy's bear hugs and mama's sweet kisses after picking up Tonka tractors. She was everything they lived for. You ain't the only one that's hurt. He'll grow up to know better. She was more of a man than you were. More of a man than you were. Hear the full song on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to your tunes.
Adam Whitehead here on the Iowa Music Showcase. Yeah. Again, we're live from Barn Wired. We're coming up on the noon hour. Great place to eat lunch, get some drinks, have some coffee, whatever you need. Barn Wired can hook you up. Adam, it is that time of the interview for 5 random questions. All
right, let's do it.
Oh, you enjoy this, huh?
I do.
Some people dread this. Yeah. First question is going to be, I always put up a question of the day on Steve Shetler Media at noon, so it'll be coming out here shortly. But the question of the day is, which movie monster scared you the most when you were a kid?
Oh, goodness.
Or maybe a movie character.
You know, I was never allowed to watch the Freddy Jason movies.
All right.
Yeah, but I watched them anyway, obviously. But I would say any one of those from those movies kind of got me. And Shredder. I don't know, Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know why that dude scared me, but he did. So, yeah.
Interesting. Question number 2. I don't know. Are you much of a? Do you go to many movies? Do you watch many movies at home?
We do go to the theater. Yeah.
Okay. So all right. What's the best movie of 2024 so far?
You know, I don't know if it's 2024, but 2023, we went to Elvis, and I saw Elvis the first time, and I told my wife, we got to go back. Tomorrow night, we got to go back. It was almost like they pushed you, right into that era and that scene and that time. You were right then and there. So I would say Elvis, but 2023.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And that's like a 3-hour movie, too.
It is. I went 4 or 5 times after that. Wow. And it's like, I guess it was that good. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
All right. Question 3. What is the coolest thing that you've managed to hang on to from your childhood?
Oh, that's a good question.
Anything that's made all the trips with you from town to town?
My granddaddy was in World War II, and he was drafted out of New Sharon. He lived to be, I think, 87 years old. And his flag from 1998, that when he had his funeral, we've held on to that for a long time. So that's probably going to be, it's an heirloom thing.
Yeah.
And, let's say 20 years, 25 years, something like that. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, being a musician and being as busy as you are, you're on lots of road trips.
Yep.
What's the most unusual thing you do on road trips?
Casey should sponsor me how much I go there. I would say, boy, that's a good, most unusual thing. I would say sleep in the back of my van. I know that's not unusual, but not a lot of guys go home that night. I'm always tired.
Yeah.
Right after my show, so I just curl up in the back of that cargo van and go to sleep. So
all right.
Maybe that's unusual, maybe it's not.
And you're a big guy, so curling up in a vehicle of any sort would be a challenge.
It's that's the thing is when we bought it, I'm like, am I going to fit back here? Well, we put a I think a full-size frame mattress back there. It works. I do have to curl up a little bit, fetal position, but we make it happen.
I'd like to see that. And then question 5 is, what's the stupidest way that you have hurt yourself? Do you have any good stories? Or just maybe a silly way that you've hurt yourself?
Okay. I fell off stage one time. Yeah, I don't know what I knew it was right there, and I knew I had one more step, but I didn't have a step, and that was Outlaws Ames, right before a break, and and that's a little ways down. When you get to be 35, 40 years old, and you make that kind of 6-8 foot fall.
When did I get old?
When did I get?
When I fell off the stage.
Absolutely.
So did you seriously injure yourself, or did you just get up and kind of brush yourself off?
I felt it for a week after that. I felt it for a week. But, yeah.
All right. So those are your 5 random questions here with Adam Whitehead. We can hear the bells ringing here in town for the noon hour. Again, you can come into Barn Wired. We're going to get some lunch here in just a few minutes. So they've always got great food. Those meatball or handballs. What is it? Handballs? Handballs. Yeah. Zippy. They're probably zippy. Let's get our last song of the day. What do you got for us?
I'm going to play the classic Single Mom.
All right.
Thanks to Steve. Steve put this on rotation, and then shortly after it debuted at number 58 or something like that, and then it peaked out at number 2 on the charts, right behind Gabby Barrett. So this has been a good song for us. So if you know any single parents, it doesn't have to be a single mom, maybe some single dad, single parent. Haven't listened to this song. It's been my baby for a while. This one's called Single Mom. She didn't want him to grow up in a broken, busted up home where the rent can barely be paid. You pray the lights will turn on. No, she didn't want him to grow up, but she works the best that she can for that 2-bedroom, 1-bath, Section 8 place, new paint, old table, and no dad. And pinching every quarter, every dollar, every day that goes by. The coulda, woulda, shoulda beens, every teenage sin that got her into this complex life. At the end of the day, she done her best to pave a way for the road God put her on. Single mom. No, she couldn't do it on her own. It takes a village to raise a kid. It took some dang good friends and a little luck to do it like she did. And she couldn't afford all the nicer things, but gave them more love than they could ever need. And Daddy never stepped it up in the end, so she was Mom and Dad and my best friend. And pinching every quarter, every dollar, every day that goes by. The coulda, woulda, shoulda beens, every teenage sin that got her into this complex life. At the end of the day, she done her best to pave a way for the road God put her home. Single mom. She's only missed church twice since May of 17. And prays they don't turn around and do the same damn thing. And pitching every quarter, every dollar, every day that goes by. The coulda, woulda, shoulda beens, every teenage sin that got her into this complex life. At the end of the day, she done her best to pave a way for the road God put her home. Single mom. Single mom.
Adam Whitehead here on our Iowa Music Showcase. Again, we're live at Barnwired. We're here every Friday from 11:30 to noon. Next week, we've got the young lady Neva Alden. Neva going to be coming back to the showcase, so it'll be good to see her again. One question I was going to ask you, bonus question for the 5 random question. It was going to be your 6th question. Now, I'm wearing my Hawkeye colors today.
Right.
They've got a big game coming up tomorrow. Some people think it's an impossible game at Ohio State. What are you thinking, Iowa or Ohio State? Does Iowa stand any chance at all?
Iowa stands a chance, and if you're on DraftKings or anything like that, put your money where your mouth is. You never know what you can pull out of that. But I got faith in Iowa. Right. I've got faith in Iowa.
Let's go Hawks. I don't have so much faith. Fingers crossed.
That was my next thing. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully they keep it respectable tomorrow at Ohio State. You never know. As I always say, Iowa always wins one during the season that they shouldn't. Right. They always lose one that they shouldn't. So hopefully this is the one that they shouldn't win that they do win.
I agree.
If you're following me. Hey, we survived the bees. The bees didn't bother us at all during this half hour. So we survived that. So, Adam, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Always fun and good to hang out with you. And by the way, we do have a bonus Iowa music guest here. Mr. Jake Beatty also showed up and is in attendance today, too. So shout out to Jake for hanging out here in attendance today at Barnwired. Again, here they come. Here come those bees. All right, we're out of here for today. You guys have a good weekend. Thanks for tuning in to the Iowa Music Showcase here at Barnwired in Sigourney.